Hey, I'm Randy and I'm the Cheap Audio Man. Here at the Cheap Audio Man, we don't feel like audio equipment, amps, speakers, DACs, turntables, speaker cables, power conditioners should cost as much as a high quality router that you can use for all sorts of home improvement projects. So grab a cup of coffee, sit down, and let's talk about the Fosi Audio DA-2120C. Today's sponsor is corn. It rocks. It's a plant, and you can make fuel out of it and feed cattle and then eat the cattle. Corn. Implement it into every meal. Yeah, I like corn. The band and the food. All right. Fosi Audio. Delta Alpha 2120 Charlie, or the DA-2120C. All right. I'm not going to drink. Sorry. Okay. So it's 120 watts times 2 into 4 ohms. 100 times 2 into 6 ohms. Kind of a weird spec, and doesn't give the 8 ohm. I would imagine it's probably around 80 to 75. All right. Also has, if you haven't noticed, an antenna. So it has Bluetooth. Yeah. They really went for it with this antenna. It's a 6 dB gain antenna. All right. That's a lot. You can go a couple miles away and still pick up Bluetooth. Just kidding. Probably like 65 feet though. All right. It has 2 gain settings, and you get into the gain settings with the included remote. You hold down display for a couple of seconds and it pops into high gain or regular gain. Okay. Got a whole bunch of EQ modes. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 EQ modes, including rap, country, light rock, heavy rock, normal, jazz. All right, we're going to get into how they sound. But let's talk about how this thing looks. It's made out of metal, all right? It feels pretty good. The antenna kind of flops around, but you can screw it in tighter, all right? It's got a nice volume knob. The styling of this thing is, I don't know if you can see that, kind of similar to, I would say, kind of what a CB radio looked like in the 80s in rural Nebraska. Right under there, okay? Right under the dash, and then you get on there and you talk about stuff to other people. It's got a decent display, 2 toggle switches. The buttons are kind of wobbly a little bit, but they do the job, and they make clicky sounds, and that's what I like. That's really what I look for. Yeah, big volume knob, power, metal, power, blah, blah, blah. Automatic, huge digital display, all right? What's in the... All right, on the back, you have a giant Bluetooth antenna, a full-sized USB, a full-sized optical, a full-sized coaxial in, RCA outs, a subwoofer out, and then you have your regular binding posts, and then power supply. They include a 32-volt power supply. All right, it says it can go up to 36 volts. Yeah. Okay. So, oh yeah, remote. The remote is different than what most remotes are. Okay. So instead of having, like, I don't know, tone controls, it legit has the tone controls where most people would think that that's where the volume's at. And it's bass up and then bass down, treble up. And then the volume is actually 2 of these buttons right here, which when you get used to it, it's fine. It's fine, but it's just a little different. I don't think I've ever seen a remote quite like this. It's cool though. You can get into EQ, mess with the display, and then it has a loudness button. So it's got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 EQ settings, a loudness button, and tone controls. So you can tailor the sound to your liking. All right. How's it sound? Okay, so I tested this with the Klipsch RP500M, the Polk R100, Aperion Novus, and the ELAC Debut B6. It's an older speaker. It's the first ELAC Debut. All right. When running through the internal DAC with a flat, no EQ, no tone controls, no nothing, it was kind of dry. What did I say? Harsh, flat, and dry. Okay? Yeah. However, the EQs on here are actually pretty well done. And I've heard like way worse EQs, like on the SMSL 8018. These are actually somewhat useful. I kind of landed in the ones that I thought were, to my taste, were actually country, of all things, and light rock. Yeah, that was where I landed, okay? But all of the EQs, none of them are like, oh my gosh, I can't listen to that. All right, so they're all useful. Okay. The Bluetooth sound, it was even thinner than the internal DAC sound. All right. When I hooked up the Topping D50S, which is a $250 Sabre DAC, the sound got better. It got better. Okay. So what I think is happening here is we have a really thin, really digitally, really harsh DAC, probably inexpensive. It's a Cirrus something or other. Then going into kind of the typical Chinese, very analytical, dry amplifier. Okay? So when you put those two together, it's not my taste, per se. Okay? However, it gets better when you put an external DAC on, and that makes sense because that Cirrus chip is fairly inexpensive. I think it may even be the same chip that's in the Prozor DAC, which is like $15. All right. Again, sound improvement was significant when I put on an external DAC. Instrument separation got better, soundstage got bigger, and some of the harshness went away. Okay, so yeah. What are my final thoughts? Final thoughts are, I know it kind of sounds like I'm being pretty hard on the Fosi audio, and I kind of am, but here's the deal. It's $170, and it's a DAC and amp combination, and it's quite powerful, and it has a lot of EQ settings, which I needed to get it to sound decent. It's good. It's good. The value proposition is there. For $170, you get a DAC and a powerful amp with a subwoofer out. And there's somewhat of an upgrade path here. If you get this, if this is what your budget is, $170, and you want something that's going to drive really any speaker out there, then this could be the product for you. I would let you know that you're probably going to need EQ, and you may even need to use EQ in addition to tone controls when you're running and using the internal DAC. Internal DAC is not on par with, I would say, even $100 DACs from Sabre DACs, Burr Brown DACs, even AK, well done AKM DACs, like a 4493 or something. It's fine, okay? If you're using this for like a soundbar replacement, I think that's going to be a great use case scenario for this. You can get it, get a subwoofer and get a decent pair of speakers, and you're set. The speakers that I think pair best with this product really is the ELAC Debut B6. Also, if in a desktop situation, the Mica RB42 was a great pairing with this as well. Those speakers are both a bit warm and rolled off on the top end. So due to the thin nature of not only the sound but the DAC in this, they kind of melded well together, and it, if anything, brought the excitement level up on those two speakers. Also the Q Acoustics 3020 eyes, not the 3020, sorry, 3030 eyes, and then the Wharfdale Diamond 12.2s. Dolly Spectre 1s would also pair well with this. Oh, and the Cambridge Minx. Just did a review on those. Okay, so desktop situation, Cambridge Minx, that's probably the most affordable one right now. It's 170 bucks, 170 bucks here. Get a subwoofer, you're good. All right, bear in mind though, gonna be a little bit thin. The DAC is a little bit edgy. Okay, use the EQ, use the tone controls. You can get a sound out of it that you want. All right. Upgrade path is you get an external DAC later, all right, if you want that. All right, so with all that said, if you like what we're doing over here, subscribe. Like the video if you like the video. If you want to support the channel, we have a Patreon, patreon.com/cheapaudioman. Every Sunday we do patron-only Zooms where we get together and chit-chat about audio and other stuff. Also have a patron-only Facebook group. You can also use any of the links in the description, and most of the links, I have an affiliate relationship with that company or Amazon, and I get a commission if you buy something through those links. You can also sign up for Amazon HD Music for free. You get 3 months for free. I get a couple of dollars. Click on the link, scroll down to the bottom, click Try HD. All right. I also have test tracks, Satanic Panic, and leg warmers. I actually need to work on a new playlist in there. Okay, so don't binge watch Netflix or anything like that. Binge listen to your favorite music streaming service, CD, whatever it is, maybe through the Fosi Audio DA2120C. Let's see if I got that right. Yeah, DA2120C, and fill your soul with happiness. And with that, I'm Randy. I'm the Cheap Audio Man.